Next at 6, the aftermath of Hurricane Debbie. Our first warning weather team is tracking possible movement in the tropics. And
a community in mourning after 3 deputies were shot while on duty in Lake County. I'm WESH 2's Kennedy Chambers with the resources law enforcement is providing to victims and family.
Plus, the fallout from Biden ending his re-election bid continues. How local officials say this impacts Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign.
Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
Hurricane season is just getting started, and although Debbie may have made its way out of Florida, it slowly continues to make its way up the East Coast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Bethany Cates.
And I'm Billie Brightman. First warning meteorologist Allison Jacoby is tracking another disturbance in the tropics.
Yep, that's right. But right now, we have nothing to be worried about. It's only at about a 10% chance of developing into the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, those thunderstorms in that region are very disorganized. So if it does develop, it will be very slow. However, your August may not be. We have a big region right here where we see the most development. So we may keep track of some waves coming off of the coast of Africa in the next 7 to 10 days. So right now, the Euromodel does take one of those balls of moisture, brings it up towards the Caribbean, develops it up a little bit, but then gets sheared out once it interacts with the fronts coming off of the southeast U.S. So right now, that's too far out to be looking at, but if anything changes, we will keep you updated. I'll have more on that for you coming up after the break.
The first warning weather team will continue to track the tropics throughout this hurricane season, and make sure you download WESH 2's mobile app and turn your notifications on to hear the most active severe weather warnings. And tonight, a woman is behind bars accused of purposefully leading deputies to her home where family members were waiting to attack them. Master Deputy Bradley Link was shot and killed, and 2 other deputies were also hurt during the ambush. WESH 2's Kennedy Chambers explains the resources available to deputies and their families during recovery.
Law enforcement officers, their families and colleagues all in mourning. Lake County Master Deputy Sheriff Bradley Link was shot and killed while trapped inside of a Eustis home Friday night. Master Deputy Harold Howell and Deputy First Class Stefano Gargano were also wounded.
It is probably the worst fears that we have.
Marion County Sheriff Billie Woods is the president of the Florida Deputy Sheriff's Association. This organization is helping support the families of all 3 deputies. FDSA is making sure that the families of the deputies being treated here at Lake Monroe Hospital are being set up in hotels nearby so that they can be close to their loved ones.
We're ensuring that they have somewhere to stay so that they're near the hospital so that they can be an immediate response on their behalf to stand there with their loved ones that are still trying to recover from these injuries.
Resources are also available for their colleagues.
We take care of all deputies. And so, whenever you lose a colleague like this, if you're there during the shooting, you've witnessed all of that. A lot of times you're trying to keep the person alive. That's stress. That's real stress.
They have counselors on standby to provide support and will do everything they can to help the deputies and their families get back on their feet.
Everybody needs to pray for these families, not only those that are survivors, but also for the family of the lost one, because you just cannot put yourself in their shoes and have a total understanding of the loss in which they just had.
In Lake County, Kennedy Chambers, WESH 2 News.
We are learning new information about the other 2 deputies hurt in Friday's ambush. Deputy First Class Stefano Gargano and Master Deputy Harold Howell are both considered to be in stable condition. And 48-year-old Julie Sapizio was arrested for her alleged role in Master Deputy Sheriff Link's death, and deputies say she told them she was trying to lure neighbors to her home so her husband could kill them.
Newly released video shows the seconds before disaster struck at an Ocala laundromat where 4 people were hurt in an explosion. WESH 2's Jayne Manohalal spoke with an employee from the business who was there just hours before it happened.
Ground. Boom.
The surveillance video was caught from a gas station that's across the street from the laundromat.
Shards of glass, sheets of metal, and a roof shredded to pieces. This is the current state of an Ocala strip mall after a suspected gas explosion.
The explosion happened just after 6 p.m. on Tuesday, and it left 4 people injured. 2 of those victims were rushed to the hospital and are now out safe. The Florida Fire Marshal is conducting an investigation into what could have possibly gone wrong at this laundromat.
We're in the middle of an ongoing investigation so that we can pinpoint the cause of the incident.
And while the cause of the explosion is still under investigation, the impact on the community is showing. People are dealing with the aftermath of this sudden disaster.
Just looking at the place, it's just very emotional.
Tooting Longhorn is a family friend to 3 of the victims and says her friend was trying to do laundry at the time of the explosion.
She kept smelling a lot of gas and that the smell was like really, really strong. And she said, "Oh God, I hope I don't blow up." She put the money in the machine and hit the start button, and that's when everything exploded.
Employees of the laundromat say it used gas for the dryers, but they were in good working condition at the time of the explosion. Latora Waters, a laundromat employee, is coming to terms with the disaster.
Devastated. I really am. This was my life, basically. I spent more time here than I did at home.
People say it's a miracle no one was killed, and Walters hopes to reopen soon to continue supporting the people in the community. Reporting in Marion County, Jayne Manohalal, WESH 2 News.
Turning now to Commitment 2024, former President Donald Trump says he'll debate Vice President Kamala Harris if it's on Fox News.
In a post shared on Truth Social, Trump says he's in a legal battle against ABC where the debate was originally scheduled to take place. Now, if Harris agrees to this debate, it will be on September 4th, but the time and location hasn't been announced. Trump says it'll be moderated by Bret Baier and Martha McCallum.
And in just 3 days, voters across Central Florida will head to the polls for the primaries. The early voting period begins on Saturday and will be open through the 17th. Tomorrow is your last chance to request your ballot be sent through the mail for this election. And requests can be sent through your Supervisor of Elections website and must be submitted by 5 p.m.
President Joe Biden is bowing out of his re-election campaign and is now endorsing his Vice President Kamala Harris for the nomination. I spoke with Orange County elected officials from both parties to see how they feel about the late change. President Joe Biden announced that he will not seek re-election in 2024, writing in a statement that he will focus all his energies on his duties as president for the remainder of his term. State Representative Ana Viescamani said in part, "This is the right decision for the American people and the Democratic Party." Other lawmakers and public officials in Florida from both major parties had very different reactions to the news. Orange County Democratic Party Chair Samuel Vilches Santiago praised Biden's achievements and supported the endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris.
He's made a decision for the good of the country and for the good of the party. We thank the president for his accomplishments and for everything he's done over 50 years for the American people.
Orange County Republican Party Chair Aaron Huntley said the move was expected and will only help the momentum of the party.
Well, I don't think many Republicans are surprised that President Biden has decided to step down. We just returned from Milwaukee from an amazing RNC convention where the energy was fantastic and there was a lot of unity around President Trump.
Both chairs made their pitch to Florida voters on their vision for the future of the state and the country.
The Republican Party is the party of solutions, and our party locally, statewide, and nationally has the solutions to make sure that our challenges are overcome and the American dream is available for all.
Is that this is a clear choice between two different visions for the future of our country. And on our side, we're going to fight for the middle class. We're going to fight for women's and women's reproductive rights. And we're going to make sure that we protect our democracy for all of us.
WESH 2 is committed to keeping you informed during this unprecedented election season. From national races to local voting deadlines, we've got you covered. All of our reporting is on WESH.com in the Commitment 2024 tab.
And athletes from all over the globe are in Paris competing in the 2024 Summer Olympics. Team USA is leading the podium with a total of 88 medals.
That's right, and we're also seeing the return of the GOAT, Simone Biles, to the Games. WESH 2's Grace Rodriguez joins us live in studio. And Grace, you've been following the Games since they started.
Bethany, Billie, Team USA has already taken home 24 gold medals, earning 8 in swimming and 3 in gymnastics. Let's take a look first at women's gymnastics, where Simone Biles won her 8th Olympic medal, making her the most decorated U.S. gymnast of all time. Now continuing that hot streak, Team USA's women's gymnastics took home gold, and Biles and Sydney Lee won gold and bronze respectively in the women's all-around. Now heading over to the swimming, our superstar Katie Ledecky continues to make waves in the Olympic Games, becoming the most decorated female Olympian of all time. Over her career, Ledecky has won 9 gold medals with 14 Olympic medals in total. Now take a look at your screen. Here's the latest medal count. Team USA leads the way with 24 gold medals, followed closely by China. Australia comes in third with 16 gold medals, and France has won 13. WESH 2 is following our local athletes competing in Paris. Join Stuart Moore and Michelle Imparato for the Olympic Zone. The show airs live from Universal Orlando Resort Monday through Saturday night at 7:30 on WESH 2. Live in the studio, Grace Rodriguez, back to you.
And nearly $15 million over the next 15 years.
That's how much money the Walt Disney Company will be able to invest into the state of Florida. How this could bring a new Disney park to Central Florida. Plus,
no other school will take my credits.
Students in shock after their college abruptly announces its closure, while their credits might not work for other universities.
Plus, I'm tracking a disturbance in the Southwest Caribbean right now. While you may not need to be worried about that, but some gusty thunderstorms over Central Florida. I'll have that coming up after the break.
Some college students in Altamont Springs may not be able to finish their degrees after their school announced they won't be reopening in the spring. Welcome back, I'm Kennedy Chambers.
And I'm Jayne Manohalal. And as WESH 2's Grace Rodriguez reports, students are struggling to find schools that will accept their credits.
A college in Altamont Springs is stopping enrollment less than 2 months ahead of their upcoming semester. Students at City College want answers.
We weren't given any heads up, anything to state that they will no longer have this program running.
Students like Apollonia are worried for their future. They were sent an email last week that most students will not finish their degrees at the college.
For many students at City College, they're not able to continue their programs in the fall, but for those with 25% remaining on their degree, they're able to continue that. Many students are wondering what to do next.
The college, which specializes in healthcare career programs, has students searching for schools to transfer to. What they struggle with is finding one that will accept their credits.
No other school will take my credits, not to mention the financial costs that I will now incur on top of what I've already incurred.
City College posted a statement on their now empty website, giving students an option to request a transcript of their courses. Dr. Tracy Nguyen works with medical students. She provides support through issues like these.
It's better to look at it from a different perspective and say, okay, where can I go and get a better education out of this? If you can find the strength to look for a good school, you may find yourself in a better place.
Apollonia is hoping to use that strength to find a new school. In Altamont Springs, Grace Rodriguez, WESH 2 News.
WESH 2 reached out to City College officials for their comment, but they denied our request.
A deal between Walt Disney World and the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District could make way for a 5th major theme park. The deal allows Disney to invest nearly $17 billion into Central Florida over the next 15 years. The company will be approved to build a 5th major theme park and 2 more minor parks, possibly a water park. Disney could also add 13,000 new hotel rooms and increase retail and restaurant space by more than 20%. A new launch coaster is coming to SeaWorld to take riders on a high-speed trip through Antarctica.
WESH 2's Bethany Cates gives us an exclusive look and test ride of the new chilling adventure.
A 3,000-foot breathtaking experience of Antarctica, Penguin Trek, is SeaWorld Orlando's 8th roller coaster. Corporate VP of Operations Rob McNicholas says the biggest difference for this ride is the height requirement.
This was a niche we were missing, right? So a low height requirement so the family could all ride together is just perfect. And our guests wanted that, and I think we delivered on this attraction.
The ride will feature 2 launches and race up to 43 miles per hour.
Here we go, this is the ride.
The coaster will navigate twists and turns, carefully escaping the icy cavern of Antarctica. But that's not all.
As soon as the ride is over, guests will be able to walk through a real-life penguin exhibit where they can learn about 5 different species from Antarctica.
McNicholas says this is an exclusive experience.
You can only do that here at SeaWorld. You say, see it here, save it there, right? You see these animals and it touches your heart and it teaches your mind to help them in the wild, right? So it's what we do and it's what we're passionate about.
Non-thrill guests have the option to skip the ride and go directly to the penguin exhibit to still enjoy the experience of Antarctica. SeaWorld Pass members were able to get early access to the ride on July 2nd, and the ride will officially open up to the public on July 7th. In Orlando, Bethany Cates, WESH 2 News.
Now, it looks like we're starting to dry out after all the wind and the rain that Hurricane Debbie brought our way. And I'm here with first warning meteorologist Allison Jacoby, and it looks like we might get to see those afternoon thunderstorms pick back up.
Yeah, and you know what? We're already seeing some already. We have some of that moisture from the Gulf already washing in. We've got some thunderstorms over in Brevard County. It's starting to move towards the coastline, and within the next half hour, you may see them. People over in Grand Valkyria and Mico getting some thunderstorms in the next half hour or so. But overall, in the metro area, it's nice and cloudy and it's calm. A little gusty though, which is keeping our temperatures down into the high 80s. It's 89 in Orlando, 87 in DeLand, 82 in Palm Coast, and 92 in Titusville. Overall though, right now, Debbie is pushing up towards the Carolinas, but the back end of that circulation is giving us some pretty gusty winds, reaching up to 20 and even 30 miles an hour at some points through the past 24 hours. Our sustained winds, though, are still a little breezy in the high and mid-teens, so that should subside as the evening progresses. And we may feel a little bit more of that thunderstorm coming off of Debbie and from the Gulf moisture. But by the end of the evening, we should be fairly clear. And tomorrow morning, it's going to heat up quick, giving us a warm afternoon, already back at 95 in Orlando, Sanford, and DeLand, even 95 along the coastline. So we may see some records tomorrow. But most of that is also coming from a lot of that moisture that's over us now is going to move on north, and we're going to have a lot of dry air coming in that is going to keep these feels-like temperatures down for the most part. But for today, we're still going to be feeling like 102 and 105 by peak heating hours. Overall, though, the rest of the week should be dry with some lower rain chances as that dry air moves through, and then a little bit more humid as we get into the weekend. 95 is our high for Saturday, 94 on Sunday, and then those rain chances do move back up from 50 and still 50% by the end of the weekend. Now, taking a look at the tropics, we are monitoring that wave in the Southwest Caribbean. Looks like it's going to move towards the Gulf right now, but it is still very disorganized. So right now, we don't have anything to be worried about. If that increases, though, we will keep you updated. But as the week progresses, we may see a little bit more action from those waves coming off of the coast of Africa. But putting that all together for you, Thursday and Friday, 94 and 95, low rain chances as we get into the weekend. High of 94 and 95 again. As we get into the next week, rain chances do increase.
More than 30 kittens are headed to new homes tonight after an event hosted by Seminole County Animal Services.
I love this name. The Meower Shower event was so popular that all the kittens were adopted only 2 hours after opening. And adoption rates started only at $5.
Oh, it's great because some of us foster as well, so the staff, we fall in love with these animals, and some of our foster homes were here kind of helping out with us today because it was so crazy and busy here. So the foster homes got to see the homes that they were going to, and it was just super rewarding to watch these kittens that we all raised and helped get bigger and healthy finally go to their forever homes.
Families can find out more information about future adoption events on WESH.com. That's our report for the night. Thanks for joining us.
WESH 2 News is always on at WESH.com or our WESH 2 News mobile app. Have a great evening, Central Florida.
Thank you for watching WESH 2 News. Get caught up on local news, originals, and more. Download the Very Local app and stream for free on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, iOS, and Android mobile devices.